Hey,
Hello, it is Monday, August 28th, 2023. This is the Dojo Live Recap Show. I'm Kim Lantis. Joining me is co host America Guerrero.
my pleasure.
Hey. And what do we do here on the Recap Show? We talk about last week's shows, giving you our thoughts, our recaps, our what we really took away and enjoyed about them. And of course, we introduce what we've got coming up as well. So last week we had two shows. We kicked everything off with Dan Balcauski, who's the founder and chief pricing officer at Product Tranquility. This was about pricing B2B SaaS. And we followed that up with Shreesha Ramdas, founder and CEO of Lumber, talking all about hacking growth opportunities. So let's kick things off with Dan's show and really answering the question of how can B2B SaaS businesses create profitable pricing strategies? What were some of your takeaways from Dan's show, America?
What I learned is the importance of considering pricing as a strategic element from the early stages of a
Mm-hmm.
B2B SaaS business. So I didn't imagine that. He shared that it is a common mistake of treating pricing as an afterthought. And he
Mm-hmm,
also
mm-hmm.
shared that pricing decisions should be involved across different kind of stakeholders, but the project manager is the main decision maker that should be involved in this decision. So it was a lot to learn in that show.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times he was saying it's a common story for companies to come together, solve a problem, create a product, and then be like, what are we going to charge for it? Right.
Yeah,
And it really should be something that's involved from the beginning. It really seems a lot more complex than I think one might imagine. And what I really appreciated about his takeaway as well was it's not just the what a product costs so much as how or the why, right? And he had his own little acronym I think that he utilizes as well, and it's about four different
oh,
components. SVCS, I think it was. Can you hear
I
me?
don't remember. Yes, I can remember. I do hear
Okay.
you, but I can't remember it. There were
Yeah.
three
It
C's
was
or
about
something like that.
segments, value, competition, strategy,
Oh,
all looking at these different components. That was a really cool takeaway, happening about, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 minutes into the show. So if you want to catch his show and talk about and learn about all about SVCS, you can definitely do that. And I agree. I mean, it was interesting because one might intuitively think that it should be the finance team or the
mm-hmm.
sales team that helps establish this pricing, and really it's not, because they might be focusing on different components, right? Things like
Exactly.
margin and ease, that really might not be the most
And
valuable or important way to price.
exactly. And there must be a need for periodic pricing reviews, which may occur maybe quarterly or maybe every 6 months to align pricing with changes in the market dynamics and business goals.
Yeah.
So
I think if
everything
I
is
remember
aligned.
correctly, his recommendation was once every year or two, unless,
Yeah.
of course, there's something crazy that happens, right? Like this past year in terms of recession or previously with a pandemic.
Pandemic.
All of
Yeah.
those things are cause to be like, wait, maybe we should review pricing right now and not wait till next year. But yeah, it's definitely something that is iterative, right? And yeah, so check it out. I mean, and his story too as an individual, going from, knowing the product development side and then switching passions and working on the pricing is really great. Certainly a great company to keep track of. And if you are a B2B SaaS company out
Fast.
there and have questions about how to price best, I mean, reach out to Dan. I think he'd be a great asset, to you and your product. The second show, was with all about growth, right? If pricing is involved there,
Hacking.
but hacking,
Uh-huh.
growth hacking. We talked with Shreesha Ramdas, who's the founder and CEO of Lumber. This certainly is not his first rodeo. Shreesha is a kind of serial entrepreneur, really has a passion for startups, in particular. And we talked about striking a balance between revolution and evolution, and how that increases the success rates of startups in particular. What were some of your takeaways from Shrisha's show?
Do you remember how surprised we were when he shared that he has been involved in over 50 startups as an
50, yeah,
investor?
50. I'm like,
Five
wow,
zero?
that's a 50, not a 1 5. Yeah.
That's amazing. And one of those startups is Lumber. a workflow management platform for the construction industry. It
That's
means
right. And they're launching when?
yeah,
September 12th.
12, correct. September 12th. And they want to revolutionize how construction businesses manage their workforce. And I also remember Kim sharing that his brother is part of that industry. And there was,
Yeah, my brother.
yeah, there was I need to learn more about the construction industry.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
is one of the takeaways.
what was really interesting about this one is it's the first time that Shreesha is involved in a vertical like this.
Hmm.
He really wanted to get involved in something that's a bit more tangible, more hands-on, that has this kind of impact. And I think he chose the lumber, well, not the lumber industry, the construction industry, because it's an industry that needs this revolutionizing that he's talking about. And yeah, but within the revolution, there's this evolution, right? And how
Exactly.
things can take their time. And I really liked his take on what failure means, how we can definitely learn from failure, that failure isn't even a failure as long as we're paying attention to the data and that we're learning from it. And I think he also had this sort of really cool 3-part growth hack, right, for startups in particular. The first part was experimenting, right? Experimenting, going back to that failure component, and this idea of really talking to as many people in the industry as you possibly can, gather that information, experiment, and really kind of try your best to figure out the best angle. And then once you have, your product, and once you're getting established, there's really 2 ways in which you can sort of market and launch, particularly when you don't have a lot of the funds, right? And that was through a grassroots efforts as well as guerrilla
Guerrilla
marketing. The
marketing
guerrilla
tag.
marketing was really interesting to me. What were some of your takeaways from that?
I remember, and actually we discussed this during in the morning. That, for example, if you don't have money and you want to have a presence in the market and you don't have the money to go to a convention, maybe you can go
Which
to
can be
a
very expensive.
coffee. Exactly, you can go to a restaurant that is going to be near that convention, talk with the owner, and
Coffee
maybe
shop, yeah.
a coffee shop, make some deals from there. For example, every customer who is going to attend to that coffee shop, you are going to pay for the coffee, and
Not
then
every customer, every customer with a badge, every
yeah,
customer with a convention badge.
every customer with a pass. No, 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 that is not good. No, no, no.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there were so, and I wish that we could have the guest Shreesha again in the show, and maybe he can share more about those
Deeper
guerrilla
dive into
marketing
those
tactics.
marketing tactics. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, I mean, what a cool way to, purchase, 1,500, 150, 200, I don't know, coffees, and get some 5-10 minute one-on-one time with individuals to learn more about the company, their needs. I mean, it's super, super smart. And I think the cool thing about his show too was wrapping it up with what I perceive to be as his fearlessness and his complete transparency, and how that's something that has also evolved, right, in him as an individual, that it wasn't always his way of doing things, and that we can evolve and become more and more fearless. So whatever characteristic that you see out there that you feel other people have, that you admire and would like to have, right, it's something that we can also evolve and develop over time as we exercise, I think, those muscles. So all in all, 2 really, really great shows here on Dojo Live last week. We've got one show coming up this week. It will be Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific. Who will we be talking to?
Yes, on Thursday, August 30. Where is it? I have
31st.
it here. 31st. Yeah. We're going to have a conversation with Deepak Jain, CEO and founder at the company Wink. And the topic is going to be about e-commerce revolution, the power of biometric checkout. Don't miss the
Yeah.
show.
It's really, really cool biometrics. I'm interested in this one. I definitely don't have a stellar wink. That's one of those characteristics that I'll need to evolve. All right. So catch you all on Thursday. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.